It was a morning like any other. Cities woke to the usual bustle. Dense traffic, people rushing to finish their coffee before heading out. No one could have predicted what was about to happen. By midday, reports started flooding in from different parts of the world. Massive spider attacks. This wasn't the typical isolated bite here and there. This time, it was something far more terrifying. The first victims were found in their homes, parks, and buildings. Their bodies were swollen, marked by multiple bites, and the most disturbing fact was that these weren't just a single species. From tiny house spiders to giant tarantulas, they all seemed to be acting together, as if they had suddenly decided to coordinate their assault. In just a few hours, cities began to crumble into chaos. Millions of people were dying in their homes, offices, and on the streets. The scale of the attack was unprecedented. By nightfall, 40% of the global population had been wiped out. Governments declared states of emergency, but everything was happening too fast. Hospitals were overwhelmed, with no effective treatment for the venom the spiders were sharing. This wasn't the conventional venom you would expect from a bite. It was far more potent, a lethal cocktail that attacked both the nervous and circulatory systems at an unimaginable speed. Anyone bitten died within minutes, no matter how many efforts were made to save them. What baffled scientists was how every type of spider, regardless of size or habitat, seemed to share this new venom. It was as if they had developed a form of communication or transfer among themselves, a seemingly impossible evolutionary leap. Attempts to study captured spiders were frustrated by their erratic behavior and, in some cases, self-destruction. In the following days, the situation only worsened. The attacks continued relentlessly, and the most chilling aspect was that the spiders seemed to know exactly where to strike. Shelters weren't safe. Homes with sealed windows and barricaded doors proved no obstacle for them. The spiders infiltrated through air ducts, cracks in walls, even drainage systems. They adapted quickly to every human defense. News stations broadcasted apocalyptic images, lifeless bodies covering the streets, empty buildings, looted stores. Major cities like New York, London, and Tokyo were left deserted. Internet and phone connections became irregular, leaving survivors isolated in a crumbling world. In secret labs, scientists worked against the clock to find a solution. But every time they thought they had discovered something, the spiders adapted. It became clear that the spiders were not just sharing venom, but had also developed some form of collective intelligence. What had started as a simple attack was evolving into something far more organized and methodical. The spiders now attacked in specific patterns, slowly dismantling what was left of human civilization. For the survivors, life had become a nightmare. Groups of people took refuge in basements, underground tunnels, and makeshift bunkers, but paranoia was rampant. No one dared to sleep for more than a few hours, fearing that any movement in the dark might be the sound of a spider creeping closer. Humanity lived under the constant threat of swift, silent death. World leaders, those who were still alive, debated the possibility of a global quarantine. But how do you stop an enemy that multiplies at an alarming rate and can infiltrate anywhere? Days turned into weeks, and the death toll kept rising. Rumors of a possible safe haven on a remote island began to spread, but getting there was nearly impossible with the global infrastructure in ruins. In the end, humanity found itself cornered, desperately fighting for survival. Cities, once vibrant and full of life, became graveyards. The spiders, in their silent intelligence, had achieved what no other creature in history had: They had brought the planet's dominant species to its knees in just a few days. As the weeks passed, human resistance weakened. Scientists couldn't find a cure, and resources were running out. It was only a matter of time before humanity, if no solution was found, would face complete annihilation. The spiders, showing no signs of stopping, continued their relentless advance. The species that once believed itself invincible now faced possible extinction at the hands of small but deadly creatures. The lingering question was, how had the spiders developed such intelligence and coordination? Was it a natural evolutionary leap? Or was there something more, something yet undiscovered, controlling the fate of the planet?